Hey guys, Tony here from securityoperative.ie again. Just a quick video about the value of discretion and using a little bit of discretion and tact as a security operative when you're dealing with situations. And it's one of the biggest tools and the biggest qualities you can have in your arsenal is a little bit of discretion, a little bit of tact when you deal with people. Oftentimes when I look at the aftermath of an incident, I find that the procedure may have been followed, but the way that the procedure was followed is often what gets people into trouble, and the look of a situation can often make a situation look much worse. So let's take, for instance, something as simple as asking a person to leave. The value of discretion in a situation like that is the ability to walk up and ask a person to leave discreetly, quietly, professionally. One of the things we talk about in conflict management training quite a bit is embarrassment as a trigger. And anytime where we embarrass another person, that's bound to make them trigger conflict in their head, make it feel personal. They look around, they see other people looking at them. And a lot of that stems from the security operative's approach. If the security operative approaches aggressively, makes a big deal of asking them to leave, it draws attention to it from both your perspective and their perspective, and can also trigger additional conflict that doesn't really need to be there. Same can be said quite a bit in retail security, where we see arrests, where we see security operatives running out into the street after people attempted to detain them. Yeah, it might look cool, you might think it's cool. The more discreet we can be, the more professional we can be, the better we make it look for ourselves, our companies, the easier we make our job. I remember years ago when I got into this industry first, a guy who had many years experience on me telling me something when I got into the industry first about how to go about my business in the security industry. And I would have been one of those kind of hot-headed guys when I got into the industry first, maybe a little bit of show off, a little bit of ego about it, you know. And he said to me something that stuck with me for a long time. He says, when you get into this industry, there's two ways to make money. He says, you can make a living or you can earn a living. It doesn't matter how well you think you know your job, and it doesn't matter how many arguments you get into. It doesn't matter how many fights you end up in. It doesn't matter how good you look doing your job, how quietly or how loudly you do your job. At the end of the week, the paycheck's the same. And you can choose to make a living by being professional and be discreet, or you can choose to really earn your money by getting yourself into trouble quite a bit. So that's my tip for the week to work on for people in the industry. And it's something that doesn't come naturally when you start. You're a little bit nervous, you want to prove yourself to people. But I think work on discretion, a little bit of tact. The more professional we can appear to ourselves, to the public, and to the person who we're dealing with, the less likelihood there is a conflict kicking off. Cheers and thanks for the support.